Sooner, all my Sooner peeps. My name's Harry James. Preview this week coming up next. The battery fan throwing, red and black wearing, former quarterback of Lincoln Riley throwing Texas Tech Red Raiders of Lubbock, Texas. We'll preview that next. Boomer Sooner 1982. Don't go away! Welcome back to my preview show, everybody. My name's Harry James. Head with me real quick from Lincoln's new home in Norman, Oklahoma, to his old home, at least in the Big 12, and that's the Texas Tech Red Raiders. The Red Raiders last season, 2020 pandemic year, 4-6, 3-6 in Big 12 action. That finished them with 8th inside the conference. They did, however, take care of West Virginia. They were the big boys that they beat in the conference. They beat them 34-27 in Lubbock, Texas. More specifically, Jones AT&T Stadium in Lubbock, Texas, where they play their home games at Jones AT&T Stadium. Coaching staff. Well, that's Matt Wells. Matt Wells, third year in charge of the Double R Red Raiders of the Double T Texas Tech. But before accepting a Power 5 conference home in the Big 12, he was at one of the other conferences. That is when he was at with the Utah State Aggies out in the Mountain West Conference. He was out there from 2013 to 2018 before heading to Lubbock. So, that will do it for the coaching staff and the review. Now let's go over some of the high-profile players that are coming in or playing this year for Texas Tech. And the reason we put it that way is there's a new quarterback. With Davis Webb transferring out, they get a new quarterback, and that's Tyler Shuck. 12 is what number he will wear. He passed for 1,559 yards, 13 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions last year with a season-long 71-yard pass. Did all of that and earned a Pac-12 Division and Conference Championship to the Oregon Ducks before transferring to the Raiders of Texas Tech. Now, with Shuck in charge of the offense, you know he can passing for almost 1,600 yards last year. But you know what, guys? It'll help having a couple of rushers that did really well last year. What about Roderick Thompson and Xavier White? Roderick Thompson, number 4 for the Red Raiders. At the end of the day, 109 total rushes last year, 610 yards, 8 touchdowns. His longest scatter last year, 75-yard run. We then take a look at Xavier White, who last year had, 62 total carries to match 436 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns, and 70 yards was his longest run. Both of those players come in from Texas Tech. We now take a step even further down the pipe. Because Shuck, if he's going to try to shuck it down the field, Chuck, get it? He's going to have him some receivers to throw the ball to. He's got one. In fact, a newbie just like him that will transfer in, and one that has been at Texas Tech and knows the system. The new guy, well, that's going to be Kalen Geiger. He wears number 10 for the Raiders this season. Last year, 64 total catches, 752 yards, 3 touchdowns, a season-long 51-yard reception. All of that happened in 2020 for the Trojans. Now, the other receiver that's coming back for Texas Tech, he is actually coming back for Texas Tech, and that's Eric Azumaka. Azumaka, 46 total catches last year for the Raiders to match 748 yards, 6 touchdowns. His longest reception was 57 yards out. And he's a wide receiver. And of course, as we talked about, he's coming in from Texas Tech. Defense for Texas Tech. 1, Kenny Logan Jr. and 17, Colin Schooler. We'll take a look at Kenny Logan Jr. first. 75 total tackles for Jr. to match with 0 forced fumbles, 0 fumbles recovered, 0 picks from one of the linebacker slots. The other linebacker that Matt Wills is going to throw out there, Kellen Schooler, 63 total tackles last year, 2 forced fumbles, 0 fumbles recovered, 0 picks from his linebacker spot. So that's a little offense and a little defense. We talked about the coaching. Let's talk about the final stat and special teams. At least for Tech. Well, for Tech, that's going to be 31 Austin McNamara. That's going to take care of the punting. He had 41 total punts last year to average 46.3 in average, 4 touchbacks, 11 punts landed inside the 20-yard line. All 41 of the punts does include a long punt of 87 yards. And finally, the kicker. Jonathan Garibay, 8 for 11. Only 3 misses on the year to match a 72.7% percentage clip on makes. One of his 8 makes, however, was a long kick. 48 yards. All right, guys, that'll do it for the Red Raider preview. Next up, we still got a couple weeks, 69 days, in fact, until Oklahoma Sooner football hits the field again. You need some help for the next 2 months or so? I got you. Right here. The Inside OU podcast. Great job here by Brady Trentham and Keegan Renault from the Franchise Network. They do 2 shows a week on here. One of them is the show from the Vanessa House downtown. Go out and see them there. That's on Thursday nights usually at about between 6:30 and 7 is when they try to start, because they will have Bingo Bango Sango going on at about between 7:30 and 8. They also do a Monday feature with a fan. Alex Philbrook was actually the fan last week. Go back and listen to that one. That one was pretty neato. All right. But 69 days, it's quite a bit of time. You need some more OU Inside Pod? Got you. Check this out right here. through the keyhole. Now, this one is a Patreon app, so you will have to pay for it, but it's not much. It's $4 if you're looking for just the podcast. They do, Keegan, however, though, does do a video coaching view study of games, and Keegan will do that again this summer. I believe he's doing one tonight at a maybe. Hopefully he's doing one tonight. I'll be on if he is, but looking forward to that. Probably, if he does do one, it'll probably be like 8 o'clock-ish, 8:15 at the latest. So, we talked about the podcast. We talked about that. We talked about Texas Tech. Next week, people, we got another new quarterback to talk about for the Baylor Bears. As we head to Waco, down the path we go. As we keep on previewing all the games for the Sooners. Next week, we'll preview Baylor. Till then, guys, my name's Harry James. You can check this and all my other videos on the YouTube, Boomer Sooner 1982. Also, Facebook, Harry James Taylor, or on the Twitter box, at Hypeman Harry. Alright, guys, till next week when we preview Baylor. My name's Harry James, and I am out of here. Peace.